What's up, guys? Hope that you're having a fantastic day. I'm so excited to make this video. I've been wanting to for such a long time. Today, I'm going to be talking about how to grow on Twitch. Now, you might be asking, Braden, what qualifies you to be giving advice on this? And first thing I would say is I'm not qualified. Second thing I would say is I started streaming late April. Yeah, late April of 2020. Within 2 months, I was a Twitch affiliate, and I was able to start making money off of Twitch, which I think is really, really sick. Now, a lot of people will say that you shouldn't go into becoming a Twitch streamer wanting to only make money, and that's very fair. You do have to have a passion for it. But I think the first thing that I'm going to say is there should be no shame in wanting to be able to make a career out of being a Twitch streamer. That's a very admirable dream, and that was definitely my mindset going into it. But that shouldn't be the only thing that you focus on. Now, the second thing that I'll say, before we actually get into the meat and potatoes of the video, is that this is the Poppins pod, number 2. So none of this is edited, as you could probably tell. So if I stutter, if I pause, any of that, treat this like a podcast. You can leave it on in the background, go do whatever else you want to do. You don't have to be watching the entire time, but just, if there's some mistakes, that's why. I'm human, don't hate me. Like, subscribe, follow. Subscribe and follow, those are the same things. Yeah, let's just jump into it. Yeah, so I guess the first thing that I would want to put out there, is consistency is pretty important. Now, when I say consistency, I don't mean streaming, like, 5 days a week. That's definitely not what I'm saying. I actually think streaming less is better, because it contributes a lot less to burnout. When I first started, I was streaming 5 days a week, and I got burnt out probably within, like, 2 weeks. It was really, really quick. And especially when you're only streaming to, like, one viewer, and you're talking to yourself throughout the entire stream, it's definitely better to do, like, 3 days a week instead of 5, or even maybe 2 if you wanted. But to have the streams that you do put out, really, really good quality streams. If you're introverted, make sure that you're ready to talk when you stream. If you're really warm, make sure that you've got some food, some water, stuff to make you more comfortable while you stream. I use that example just because it's like 31 degrees Celsius outside right now. It's like super hot. And I'm kind of warm. But yeah, so you want to make yourself as comfortable as you possibly can, to make sure that the stream is the best that it possibly can be. It's much better to make quality content rather than a quantity of content. And so that's definitely the biggest thing that I would say is just make sure that you have a set schedule that is good for you, because if you have a schedule, it's much easier to have your stream become routine for your viewers. If they know when you're going to be online, when you're going to be live, they'll be able to come in, and you'll, like I said, be able to become part of their routine. If they have to consciously think, oh, is Harry Poppins online? They're going to be a lot less likely to come in, whereas if you stream at 7 p.m. every Wednesday night, and they go in every Wednesday night, they're not even going to have to think about it. They're just going to be like, okay, time to watch Harry Poppins, you know? I got to do this every Wednesday night, you know? So that's a really big thing, and that's going to make it so that people want to come back, or don't want to come back, but they just do anyway. That's what builds a lot of consistency within your audience. If you're consistent, your audience will be consistent as well. Now, the second thing I will say, or the second piece of advice, tip, whatever you want to call it, is you got to research the games that you're going to be playing. Now, I think this was the thing that was most disappointing to me when I started streaming, but it became one of my favorite things over time. Now, when a lot of people, when they first start streaming on Twitch, they just assume that, hey, I'm gonna get to play whatever game I want, and people are gonna watch me, because people like watching video games being played. I can just hop on Fortnite, or Apex Legends, or Valorant, or Warzone, or whatever game you want to play, and just get viewers immediately. Now, for those of you that don't know, which I should hope it's not too many of you, but don't feel shame if you don't. For those of you that don't know, Twitch's discoverability works like this. The more viewers you have, the easier it is for new people to find you. And now that's a really, really, really flawed system. That's part of why I went to YouTube instead of Twitch. But because of that, it means that if you are playing a game like Fortnite, or Warzone, or Valorant, and you're only at one viewer, there's so many people that are going to be at one viewer, it is impossible for them to find you. Now, personally, I started on Battlefront 2, which sort of, at the time that I started, it averaged between 400 and 600 viewers. I'm not sure what it's at now, but that, in my opinion, was the perfect game for me. I mean, that amount of people was really, really great because it had enough of a community, like, to be able to support me and my early growth from, like, 1 viewer up to 5 viewers, up to 10 viewers, up to 15, you know? Like, it was able to support me there, but it wasn't big enough that new people couldn't find me, right? And that's where I did most of my growth, and a lot of you probably watching, sorry, camera's over here, a lot of you probably watching, remember and found me on Battlefront. I know a lot of people found me from that, so yeah, I would say that was a huge, huge part of my growth on Twitch. And that was really what was able to kickstart me, was me just consistently playing a game with really, really good viewership numbers. And also a certain amount of luck, definitely. But I was, with those two first pieces of advice, I was definitely able to use that to sort of jumpstart myself. And I guess I kind of lied. Battlefront 2 was not the first game that I played. It wasn't what I actually started on, but it was like the second game that I played, and it sort of got me up to where I was being noticed by people. The very first game was Uncharted, I think it's like the Complete Collection on PlayStation or whatever. That game was really good. It was really fun, but it only had like 25 people. So I wasn't getting any new people in. No one was really looking to watch Uncharted gameplay, so I had to make a switch, and I chose really, really well in Battlefront. So yeah. And the third thing I will say, the third piece of advice that I'll say is, consider YouTube. Now this might be a little bit, controversial, and I know that, this is probably not what you came here for. I promise I have another piece of advice after this. Just wanted to put this out there. YouTube is much, 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 way, way, way better, for discoverability. As I mentioned with Twitch, their platform is incredibly flawed, for, like, smaller streamers being discovered. You have to put in a lot more work than you would on, say, YouTube, to be able to actually get noticed and actually have new people come in and want to watch you. Now, I've recently, like I mentioned before as well, moved over to YouTube full-time, and I'm definitely still in the early processes of it, or processes. I don't know how you say that word. But I love it. I think it's great. The main difference between YouTube and Twitch is that people use YouTube search. People don't use Twitch search. YouTube has an SEO. Twitch doesn't have an SEO. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of, like, what those mean. Those are a lot of really nerdy analytical stuff that a lot of people probably don't care about, especially not if you're starting off. If you are interested, definitely just search up, like, YouTube SEO. There's a lot of videos that will cover it. Yeah, so that's the big difference. That's the main difference, and that's why I would strongly consider if you're trying to choose a platform to stream on, take a look at YouTube. It's really, really great, because if you stream the VODs that become videos on your channel, and you can title them just like you would a regular YouTube video. People can watch your VODs even after, even after the stream ends, whereas with Twitch, you can watch the VODs after the stream ends, but it's like within 24 or like 48 hours. So it's not like people can go back and watch like your backlog of content, you know? It's sort of like a, oh hey, they streamed yesterday. I wasn't able to catch it. Guess I'll watch it now, you know? So YouTube's got a lot of things going for them. Not to mention that you don't have to stream, you can also just make regular videos, like I am. But yeah, I would strongly give that a look if you're still deciding. But my last tip, if you are fully committed to Twitch, if you're like, Twitch is where I want to be, I love Twitch, first off, I'm going to say thank you so much for staying this long. Yeah, I would say that this is pretty rewarding. My final tip, this is probably the most important one. I probably said that the other ones are most important like 5 times, but this one is truthfully the most important one. You have to be willing to talk to yourself. Now, I'm a very talkative person, so this was not necessarily as difficult for me as it was for, or as it is for a lot of other people. But people have really, really short attention spans. That's part of why a lot of people probably haven't made it this far. So, like I said, if you have, great job, very proud of you. Your parents should be proud as well. But yeah, people have really short attention spans. So I've had times where people will come into my chat, they'll say hello, and they're gone before I can even respond to them because of the delay. I'm not sure why people leave that fast. I'm not sure what their reasoning is, but people don't stay for very long unless you're like an established creator, unless they know you, unless they really, really love your content. So if you're streaming to one viewer and one person comes in, you want to be talking, you want to make them know that you're there, especially if you don't have a webcam. Because honestly, a lot of times people will just play games, not talk, not have a webcam. It's just gameplay. And if you're just putting gameplay on Twitch, they could play the game themselves and get that same experience. Right? And like a lot of people are going to be better at the game than you are too. Or at least that was the case for me, right? Like I suck at video games. I am bad at video games. So the thing that set me apart was my personality. It was the fact that people feel like they know me. And that's still what sets me apart, I feel like. People come to my channel for me, not for the gameplay. And that allows me to make a wider variety of content, like this, right? If people came for the gameplay, no one would watch this video. No one would watch any of my Poppins pods, for that matter. So, you want to make sure that if somebody comes in at any time, you are always high energy, you're constantly talking, you're constantly narrating over the game, saying what's happening, saying your thoughts on what's happening. You could literally just pick a topic, like, what's your favorite fruit? What's your favorite color? What new thing happened in popular culture, and what do you think about it? Like, that is the most important thing, is people want to get to know you, people want to get to know what you think about things, and if you're constantly talking, if you're constantly making yourself available to people, that means that they'll feel comfortable asking questions, and they'll come back. Honestly, I think that is the single biggest thing that helped me out of any of these, was just the fact that I was, even when I was only streaming to one viewer, I was still talking. So yeah, that is my guide, I guess, on how to grow on Twitch. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If there's anything else that you want me to go over in the Poppins pod, or if there's any other tips that you think I missed, please, please, please put it in the comments. If you like the video, you can hit the like button, you can hit the subscribe button, you can go to subscribe to somebody else's channel if you want. You hold full power. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I love making these. Yeah, expect more videos later this week. I'm maybe going to heed my own advice and come up with a schedule soon for YouTube. But, we'll see when that happens. So yeah, thank you so much, and I will see you guys on the next one.